I'd like to share my approach to practicing yoga, keeping yoga safe, and making it an effective practice. You don't need to be flexible to practice yoga, just like you don't need to be strong to lift weights, just like you don't need to be fast to run or swim. Yoga is not about making fancy shapes or contorting the body into complicated postures. It is about the sensations and effect you feel while doing the posture rather than being about the shape you make. In fact, you could view the shape of a posture as my job as the teacher, making sure that technique and placement is safe and correct, and that your job is to be aware of the sensations you are feeling while performing the posture. It is never about how far you go in a posture, but rather about how the posture feels. Similarly, it is not about what the posture looks like either, but rather what you feel and how you experience the posture that matters. Never compare your posture to anybody else's. Another person's experience will be totally different from your own. We all have different anatomical proportions and joint structures, and therefore each person's posture will be different and unique. It really isn't a competition. You don't need to be able to touch your toes either. I've always thought that's an unfortunate expression which has been taught to us from when we were very young and persists to this day. We all have different anatomy and bone lengths, body and limb proportions. So if you think about it, if you are very tall, you have long legs and perhaps shorter arms in relative proportion, then your toes are going to be further away from you to reach than someone with short legs, long arms, and who is perhaps close to the ground on their toes in the first place. Sometimes it is quite literally more about anatomy than about technique, experience, or expertise. In fact, some people who've never done yoga before are able to walk into a class and perform amazing shapes and postures with ease, whilst others who've practiced for many years still find it a challenge to reach their toes or bend their bodies into some yoga postures. It doesn't matter. This is why it's not about how far you go, but about how the posture feels. That is the important thing. Stay away from pain. If it hurts, it's wrong. Period. The sensations you feel in your yoga practice should be pleasant rather than unpleasant. If it hurts, then stop. Ask your teacher how to avoid the pain you're feeling in that particular posture. Don't put up with pain, because pain is our body's way of telling us something is wrong. And if we ignore it, it will eventually lead to an injury. Look for pleasant sensation and avoid unpleasant sensation. A posture can feel intense without feeling painful or unpleasant. A stretch can be a strong sensation, but it shouldn't be an unpleasant one. There is a point in any posture or stretch where it feels pleasant, but if you were to go further, it would become unpleasant. And this is often referred to as the edge. That point where it moves from strong but pleasant to feeling unpleasant. Stay a little back from that edge at all times, in all postures and in all styles of yoga you are practicing. This is the safest way of practicing yoga and avoiding injury whilst also still making progress. Stay a little away from edge, always. There are many different styles of yoga and often different approaches to breathing whilst practicing different styles. However, in the styles of yoga that I'm teaching, always breathe normally, steadily, without ever holding your breath. There's never any reason to hold your breath, and try to relax your breathing. You don't need to synchronize your breath in and out for any particular parts of movements or postures unless instructed to, which may happen from time to time, but not often. Just breathe normally. Move slowly, especially coming into and out of postures, and also when transitioning from one posture to another or from one side of the body to the other in a posture. Take your time. There's no rush. Be careful not to bounce in a posture, which actually triggers a tightening response in the muscle, and that's the opposite of what we want, which is a loosening effect. Move slowly into a stretch, hold for a bit, ease slowly further if you can, but always a little back from edge. Enjoy your practice. This is the best way to ensure you will continue and want to keep practicing yoga. And I hope to see you in a class one day soon.